All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday Night Sports Minutes on the TMA Radio Show. That's right, Sports Minutes tonight. We got Jeff live in effect, gonna be coming up shortly. We want to thank you for listening every week. Tell somebody, bring somebody in, let them listen to the best gospel, the best praise show in America, the TMA Radio Show. Hey, I'm your host, Minister Ackridge, and we're going to be coming up with Sports Tuesday Night Minutes in a minute. So stay tuned.
I'm going to find out if I'm the life that's the crowd and cry out to the Father of life. Come hum along to the song, the sound of Saturday. Come sing the jingle, the single, and be that as it may. People by the masses kick that constant nonsense out of the ordinary like an ostrich omelet. Come run amok in the murky, muddy water. Welcome to the monster truck's only alma mater. A modern all-metal automobile from the ghetto. We keep it real from the ceiling and steering wheel to the pedal. Compressed in this present-day Babylonian, no compassion for the hungry and lonely and cold. So it is told to the globe, young and the old, were prophets of man with no soul, yo, lo and behold. Why don't you come to the river where there is understanding? Come and see the master's plan, and for those who have eyes that can see, you can see him so clearly at sea. Why don't you come to the river where there is understanding? Come and see the master's plan, and for those who have eyes that can see, you can see it so clearly at sea. Come, please come inside. It's alright, it's alright, it's open mic night. Oh, can I write? Can I rap? I seem delighted to lean beside that. Meanest hi-hats I've seen tonight. Stream of light in the stream of mine. Seem to like it, don't think you mind. Spinning sidekick, I'm feeling fine. I'll bring the rhythm of a million and march in a minute, man. I'll bring him with a minivans parked. God beat a band's freedom and heart. I'll defeat him and beat him, and I don't need a fast start. NASCAR, race car, A-star, fade away to face-to-face, 808 to base. I'll take the place of a famous face. Man, I miss the underground and I hate this place. Come and get some, I don't really want none. Y'all ain't ready for defending the city, The American amendment isn't didn't stop. Enemies have entered the center is hot. Never been caught by any arrogant cop. Straight to the top of you, like it or not. Whether a mic or pop block DJ or whatnot.
Tuesday Night Sports. We're kicking it. Enjoying it. All right. It is Tuesday Night Sports Minutes, and we just so happy. Again, it's football season, NFL, and I'm telling you, a lot going on. And them boys playing ball now. It's a lot of teams, a lot of good teams, a lot of good matchups, a lot of everything. So we're gonna be bringing Jeff on after the intro. Hey, Jeff, take him away.
All right. Great to be back here on the show. Thank you, Mr. Ackridge, for having me back on here. Let's go ahead and jump into the sports. We'll take a look at the wild card standings in baseball. And man, things are really heating up right now in baseball as we in the last couple weeks. It's exciting. I don't know who's going to be getting in, but just looking at the wild cards, you got the Yankees leading with an 82-67 record. Yeah, Houston is 4 games behind them. So I think the Yankees will end up, getting the number 1 wild card spot. But I think it can happen. We've seen teams fall apart down the stretch. I think having that home game and the 1-game wild card is it means so much more now, because like the second you finish playing, you're going against the division winner. There's definitely more emphasis this year to win your division, because you don't really want to take the wild card. Unless, of course, you're the San Francisco Giants, but most teams don't want that wild card game. They don't want to be in that wild card game. But you know what? It's still a chance for you to be able to prove yourself. So you got a team like Houston that right now is in the second wild card spot in the American League behind the Yankees, and Houston's been they've been the surprise of the year for a lot of people. Not for me though. I thought Houston was going to have a very good season. I looked at the talent on their roster, and I just, you know, and after seeing the way they finished last year, they weren't very good in the first half, but the second part of last year, they might have been the best team in baseball. I think actually in the last month or so, they had the best record in baseball, or one of the top 3 records in baseball. So seeing them play well this year, the guys like Jose Altuve and Pucho, and you look at guys like Chris Carter, and they're just a very good team, a solid team. They've got players on there that are serious and are winning. I think for Houston, they've been disappointed so many times, not making the postseason. They're ready to make a statement. But they still have the teams in the wild card in the American League. You got Minnesota, who's 3 games out of that last wild card spot. Only 2 back on the loss column. That's the column that really matters. And then you got the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They had 3 back in the loss column. And so is the Cleveland Indians. So those teams are still in it. Mathematically, the Baltimore Orioles are still in the wild card running there. I'm just not seeing it. They're 6 games back. We got 11 games left of the year. I'm just not seeing it for them. And there are other teams like the Seattle Mariners and the Boston Red Sox, and mathematically they're still in the running, but I'm just not seeing it for either of those teams. So honestly, my pick to win, my pick to make it to the wild card at this point still stands the Yankees and the Houston Astros. I just think those teams are too good, and I think down the stretch they're going to think that they've got to win and find a way to get into the postseason. And it should be a very good 1-game playoff, because if the Yankees fall asleep on Houston, I believe, has the team to be able to beat the Yankees in a 1-game playoff. So in the National League, if you want to call it the wild card, the National League, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they are the leaders in the wild card with a 90-60 record. Usually 30 games above 500 will keep your conference. But right now they're in the wild card spot, 4 years behind the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals have just been great. What can I say? I mean, no matter who they have on their team, no matter what the personalities, no matter who the coaches, you can pretty much count on the Cardinals to make it to the postseason and make it deep in the playoffs. So, they're still this year. My second wildcard team, which I believe is very safe, my Chicago Cubs. I'm real excited about what Chicago did this year. They're going to be a very interesting team for postseason. That wildcard game between them and the Pirates should be a very interesting one, because you've got 2 teams that are loaded with power hitters. So we'll see how the Cubs are turning out. I'm hoping my Cubs are able to pull it off and make it to the divisional round. I'd love to see Chicago go deep in the postseason this year. Let's talk about the NFL. Let's look at the scores from the weekend. The Denver Broncos won on Thursday against the Kansas City Chiefs, 31-24. And Kansas City did everything humanly possible to lose that game. Very surprising the way they lost after being up by 7 points with a minute left in the game. Less than a minute left in the game to give up 14 points. And this was 14 points in the time span of about 10 seconds was completely embarrassing on their end. If they ever had a chance to prove that they are a legitimate postseason team in the AFC West, they definitely dropped that ball. The New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills by a score of 40-32. The game wasn't as close as the score sounds. Tom Brady threw for 466 yards. Yeah, that's right, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns. No interceptions, but they threw the football 59 times. How in the world you throw a football 59 times and not get picked? It's incredible, man. He looks like the 2007 Tom Brady. I think this is the thing that we didn't want to see. They didn't want to see the Tom Brady that was drunk through court all summer and started sweeping the floor with teams, but he's done that so far. The Carolina Panthers beat the Houston Texans in a pretty impressive win for Carolina, especially considering that the Panthers were out with Keekly. Arizona Cardinals demolished the Chicago Bears 48-23. Looks like another one of those years for Chicago. Jimmy J. Cutler gets injured. We'll talk more about that later. The Cincinnati Bengals beat the San Diego Chargers 24-19. Cleveland beat Tennessee 28-14. Johnny Manziel won his first game as a Cleveland Browns. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Detroit Lions 26-16. I don't know what's going on in Detroit. The Tampa Bay beat the New Orleans Saints 26-19. And the issues there at the quarterback position. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Atlanta Falcons beat the New York Giants 24-20 on a late touchdown. Julio Jones, that catch he made was absolutely incredible against the Giants defense. He is, I think right now, he might be the best wide receiver in football. Pittsburgh stomped the San Francisco 49ers 43-18. Washington beat the St. Louis Rams 24-10. Disappointing loss for the Rams after they found a way to beat the Seattle Seahawks the other week. Jacksonville beat the Miami Dolphins 23-20. Miami has not impressed me at all to start the season. I know a lot of people talked about their going into their defense, but barely beat Washington last week. Lost this week to Jacksonville. Jacksonville's got a good offense, but if you're Miami, that's a game you've got to win. Especially if you consider yourself a playoff contender. Oakland beat the Baltimore Ravens 37-33. Very exciting game there. Amari Cooper was fantastic. The Green Bay Packers beat the Seattle Seahawks 27-17. I don't know what's going on with Seattle, but they got to get it together quick. The New York Jets beat the Indianapolis Colts on Monday in a very embarrassing game by Indianapolis. I don't know what's going on there. Andrew Luck has got to start turning the football over. It's getting to a point now where, before people were kind of willing to give him a pass because not all interceptions are bad. Some interceptions, you're throwing the ball 50 yards down the field and they get picked, that's one thing. But he's throwing bad interceptions at terrible times, coughing up the football on fumbles. It's too many turnovers, and the Colts are not going to win games if they turn the football over. And last but not least, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles 20-10.
Yay! That's right.
Yeah.
I didn't think we was gonna do it. I'm so surprised, really. Romo going down. The game is pretty much close, up in the air. Dez Bryant, of course, has been out, and then with Witten turning his two ankles and hurt his knee, limping off the field. We didn't know if he was going to play it the entire game, but he did. He pulled through, and we were. I tell you, we just had a whole team effort. The defense, oh my goodness! I'm telling you, this is the best play of defense I've seen in a long time from the Cowboys, because normally our secondary is not a good. It has not been good these last few years, and them guys seem like they starting to play together, and the defense is pulled together, and it's so hopefully it's gonna be interesting Sunday.
Yeah, it should be. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Cowboys just traded for Matt Castle from the Buffalo Bills. I think as the quarterback. Yeah. Pretty interesting move, I think, because you already got Brandon Weeden. And then you've got Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore, I would watch out for Kellen Moore. He's a guy who kind of sat the bench, he's a guy who sat the bench in Detroit while Matthew Stafford, but Kellen Moore, statistically speaking, had the most passing yards of any quarterback in college football history. And he was a guy that got drafted, he went undrafted, much to my surprise, because he played Steve Lindsay, Steve Clay. I thought Kellen Moore was a surefire draft pick, but he didn't get drafted. So, I thought he was a drafted guy. They didn't have a chip on their shoulder. And I think Kellen Moore had an opportunity to be starting for the Cowboys if Brandon Weeden struggles at the gate.
Yeah, Weeden. He did finish the game. And I think that the second screen quarterback, what I think should happen is just make the completion. I like what Tony Romo is, since he's gotten focused on, okay, just make the completion. Open guy, make the completion. A lot of quarterbacks in the league has been doing that, and I like that because, when you try to do too much, and it's bound to have a mistake or interception or turnover. But I mean, to look at Tony Romo picking up from last year, man, I hate he went down. Last year, I still have my doubts, but I can't knock him because he has improved. Even though he's a veteran, he's improved from last year. He's still making good decisions, and actually he's reading the defense. Great, starting off the year. But I'm hoping that he can come back. I mean, the same injury, broken shoulder last year. So hopefully he can come back. But Whedon, we'll see what he'll do. Hopefully he's a veteran. He's been around, but hopefully he can help us win a few games until Romo comes back into play.
Yes. So the two things I want to ask you. Let's start off with some of these injuries, some pretty significant ones. First one is tight end. Often Safari and Jenkins from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their starting tight end is injured now. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. I think that's a pretty significant injury for Tampa Bay because I know they've got, obviously you've got your receivers like Mike Evans, but Evans is hurt right now, and he's kind of had that injury bug early in his career. In my opinion, in order for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to stay somewhat consistent, I think they're going to have to start giving the ball to Doug Martin and letting him rush the football a little bit more. What's your take on that?
Well, yeah, I think they're going to have to turn that around. They need to run the ball, Jeff, because the quarterbacks, I don't know what to say about it. Right now, they're not doing the job, and I know they had, they've had the quarterback that just got drafted from Jameson Winston. Yeah, they just had him in there. And, he didn't do bad, but he's still a rookie. And so, they're going to have to let, they got Doug Martin, and they need to run the ball, but they need to figure out what plays work. Evidently, the offense is not comfortable with what their scheme is because they just don't look good at all. And not what I was expecting to see. With all of the excitement, all of the hype that they talked about during the summer, and for them to come out looking the way they look, they're going to have to tighten up. And
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they beat New Orleans, but it still wasn't a very impressive game offensively on their end. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're able to adjust going forward. But like I said, this point, a win's a win, but still, I think there's room for improvement. I just saw that the Raiders claimed quarterback David Emerson off waivers. He was one of the starting quarterbacks for the Redskins. I think it was a good move on their part.
Because he did a good job. He did a pretty good job.
Yes, so I think it's a good move from the Raiders standpoint. People need to watch out for the Raiders. Do I think they're going to be a playoff team? I wouldn't say they're a playoff team, but I think they're going to upset a lot of teams this year. I think they're going to win some games down the stretch. I mean, they already upset the Baltimore Ravens in a pretty thrilling game, actually. Amari Cooper, man, that guy's the real deal.
Yeah, that's right, man. I'm telling you, but what I wanted to ask you, Jeff? I wanted to ask you, looking at all of again, another team with the hype. We were trying to put it together what the Philadelphia Eagles was going to do this year with all of the trades and getting rid of all of the players. I don't necessarily think now that was a great move to get rid of everybody because it's not working.
No, I question it. You and me both, man. I like the Eagles. I question it during the offseason.
That's right.
They thought some guys are trading a lot of guys, but they dumped a lot of them really talented players.
Yeah, that's right. And then they brought DeMarco Murray in, but they're not using them to the advantage. And it did show that their line is no comparison to Dallas line, and they need some work. Just like the Vikings need some work. Peterson couldn't really get off because he didn't have holes to go through. I mean, you know, he when he did make the longest run of the night, I think it was a 10, 11-yard run. He had to squeeze through a tight window because the line wasn't blocking. The line is not holding blocks. So, you know, I'm just curious to see if they can be able to turn it around in week 3. Because, like I said, with DeMarco Murray, hard runner, but you gotta at least make some lanes, something for him to get off on. You know, once he gets started, you know, if you stop him early, it gets frustrating and it's hard for him to really get off. But if you get him moving, you know, then you got something on your hand. I mean, because he can not only rush the ball, but if you send him out in the flats area or going across, he can catch the ball too. Now he did that with Dallas, and he had some good success. So they're not using him right.
Yeah, I don't think they're using him correctly either. You know, it's been pretty interesting so far. I mean, and you're looking at teams that are not performing well up again. I mean, obviously the Bears have not started out well, but Jay Cutler is going to be out for a few weeks, which hurts them. Drew Brees is believed to have hurt his rotator cuff. So, the Saints are trying to be optimistic, but something tells me Drew Brees is going to miss at least one game, possibly two. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more, to be completely honest with you. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with New Orleans, but man, if you're the Saints fan, you got to be pretty disappointed in what they're doing right now. I mean, they pretty much picked up right where they left off, and then the Saints had a very talented offense last year, but Brees didn't impress me last year with the weapons he's got. To lose 5 straight home games, in my opinion, is very inexcusable. I mean, I couldn't understand why they couldn't win, you know, during that 5-game stretch at home when Drew Brees hadn't lost at home in about 3 or 4 years.
Well, let me tell you, I know you're talking about New Orleans, but let me just back up a minute and just say this. Jeff, let me make myself perfectly clear, okay? doing my Stephen A. impression. Sam Bradford, the last 2 games, has been garbage to me. He looks like, you know, I'd rather see Tebow out there. He's look like he's more exciting to watch Tom Bradford. Tom Bradford looked like he won in the game Sunday. I mean, I'm glad we won, but I do like Philly as like a, you know, off team. If they're not playing the Cowboys, I'll go for them. You know, I'll go for them. But Sam Bradford looked like he just ain't got it. And I think that they're going to be making some changes. They had Vic. You should have kept Vic, but that trade is gone. I kind of wish the Cowboys could have picked up Michael Vick. Man, can you imagine with that line that we have at Dallas, and we had a person that can throw the bomb like Michael Vick, stand back there for 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and be able to hit a receiver wide open. I mean, can you imagine that, him coming in now at the time, taking the place of Romo, able to run, able to throw. That would have been a great pickup if we could have picked him up.
Yeah, I think Robert would have been a nice pickup actually. But you come back to you brought up the Eagles. I questioned this during the offseason. When they traded Nick Foles for Sam Bradford, I like Bradford. But unfortunately, he hasn't done anything because he's been injured his whole career.
Right.
And then to me, it matters worse if you're Chip Kelly. You bring in a Tim Tebow. Pretty much make it seem like he's going to make the roster. You trade away Matt Barkley, and then you release Tim Tebow, and you sign Stephen Morris, who I actually know who Stephen Morris is. I remember the Jacksonville Jaguars signed him as an undrafted free agent. I know who Stephen Morris is. He's not better than Tim Tebow. We've seen what Tim Tebow can do. We've seen his ability to be able to motivate his team. Does Jack look great? No. Are you playing for stats or are you playing for wins?
Right, exactly. Exactly. Well, it's gonna be very interesting Sunday. I can't wait, Jeff, to see the next coming up, the games coming up Sunday. Today is Tuesday, so actually got a game on Thursday with Denver, as you said, Denver, Kansas City. So we're gonna see. Kansas City lost Sunday, and so I want to see what I want to see what Manning has to come, bring to the table. That game could be either way. I think, either way. But the biggest games I think the game I like to see, which is your boys, New England and Buffalo Sunday. Buffalo being, they lost that game, but they're a very talented group. But Tom Brady, man, it's like since he had them charges, man, he's came out with a vengeance. He said, you know what? I can throw the ball flat or full pressure. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to show you that I can throw it. I'm going to show you that I don't need to flatten the ball and he's doing it. I mean, he's doing it. So, I can't knock him, but we going to have some good games Sunday. And we're going to see how that plans out.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I mean,
pretty interesting.
Yeah. I excuse me. I did want to say, your boys in Carolina. Excuse me, your boys in Carolina. Friday, not this Friday. I'm sorry. I'm at the wrong square. At the wrong seat. I'm in preseason. But I was looking at preseason. And I know you was like, what are you talking about? But going back to your boys. That's going to be playing at Jacksonville should be an easy win. I do apologize for my listeners, but yeah, that's going to be an easy game. The Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans, that should be a great game. Atlanta and Dallas, that's going to be a good game to watch because we got 3 of our top players out. So if we, as everyone looks in America, if we pull out the win with all the injuries, then we're gonna win the division, and not only win the division, but I'm sure we'll be playing in the Super Bowl. Everybody had the Eagles playing the Super Bowl. I'm gonna have the Dallas win the division and getting back to the playoffs with everybody healthy. I'm gonna say we'll be in the same position we were in last year, but winning that game to get us there.
Yeah, I mean, I could see y'all being a Super Bowl team, absolutely, especially at 100%. Regardless, if you can find a way to hold on and just get to the playoffs with a healthy Dez Bryant, a healthy Tony Romo, a healthy Jason Witten, I don't think any reason why you all can't be in the Super Bowl because we've seen Seattle so far stumble off the gate. As far as I'm concerned for them, I don't think that is possible, but when you look at the fact that they lost to the Packers, and that's bad because they're not 2 games behind the Packers to start the season. They're 3 games behind the Packers because of that tiebreaker. Right. And that's something where it's like, if they got to go to Green Bay to get to the Super Bowl, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it for them. I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, they want some revenge. I think they're in a place where they're not going to let Seattle beat them again in the postseason. Another interesting injury report was Kiko Alonso has suffered a partially torn ACL. The injury is not as bad as the Bills thought it would, but it's still a partially torn ACL, which sounds like he's going to miss a significant period of time. I think defensively that hurts the Bills because the Eagles think that hurts the Eagles because they traded with the Bills to get Kiko Alonso, and now he's injured. So it's just insult to injury, if you will, for the Philadelphia Eagles because not only did you lose that game and look bad losing it against the Cowboys, now you're losing key defensive players.
We got 10 seconds.
Looks like things are blowing up for the Eagles.
Well, Jeff, we got 10 seconds, so buddy, you got anything to say to him before we go?
Well, thank you, Mr. Raffers, for having me back on here. See you all next time. Goodbye.
All right, your weather forecast Tonight we're looking at a low of 65. Wednesday high of 77 with a low of 63, and Thursday high of 68 with a low of 65. That's your 2.5-day forecast, and we want you to tune in tomorrow. Midweek praise. Bring on your praise shoes. Bring everything with you, and let's give God some praise. We thank Jeff for being on. I love you, and God bless.
I am not a dope dealer, woman as a cold killer. You can go and get down with your pressure, made my song thriller. Not gon' pretend that I'm a drug boss, a big timer. I ain't one for stunting, fronting, coming up with that fake drama. What they think that we on?